Hello, everyone. I am Sean Carl V. Antonio, and I will be reporting chain of custody and acts punishable under RA 9165. So this topic is under the vice and drug education, where we will be tackling mainly the chain of custody and acts punishable under RA 9165. So the objectives of the study: two, one, explain the chain of custody under RA 9165. Number two, to identify acts punishable under RA 9165. So, talking about chain of custody, what is chain of custody? So, chain of custody is the proper handling of seized drugs from confiscation up to court presentation. It ensures evidence integrity. So, yung chain of custody daw, ito yung tamang pag-handle ng mga na-seize na drugs or na-confiscate mula sa pagkakuha nito or confiscation hanggang sa pag-present sa court. Meaning, sinusundan kung sino-sino yung mga humahawak ng evidence para siguradong hindi siya napalitan or na-tamper. So, after maintindihan kung ano yung chain of custody, intindihan natin kung ano yung purpose niya. So, to prevent tampering, maintain identity of evidence, ensure admissibility in court. So, the purpose of chain of custody is para maiwasan ang tampering mainly ng evidence at mapanatili yung identity niya. Importante dito is para ma-ensure na tatanggapin siya ng court bilang valid and credible evidence sa kaso. So, tapos na tayo sa meaning ng chain of custody and sa purpose niya. So, let's move on sa first step sa chain of custody. So, yung mga nakalagay dito is based siya sa RA 9165 sections. So, first is inventory and photograph. Immediately inventory and photograph seized drugs, presence of accused, media, DOJ elected officials, and signatures required. So, uh, after makuha yung drugs or ma-seize and confiscate, kailangan agad siyang i-inventory at picturean. Dapat may presence ng accused or uh, representative, media representative, DOJ, at elected official para siguradong transparent at walang manipulation na mangyayari. So, what if absent yung isa sa mga required witnesses? So, if absent yung required witness is valid pa rin. Kaso, sabi sa RA 10640 or yung batas na nag-strengthen sa RA 9165, sabi niya is valid pa rin. Kaso, under justified grounds. For example, safety concerns and unavailability despite efforts. Ito yung tinatawag ng court na substantial compliance. So, after my inventory and photograph, pupunta tayo sa second step, which is submission to laboratory. Submit to PIDEA Forensic Lab within 24 hours. So, pagkatapos ma-document, ma-photograph, kailangan maipasa agad yung evidence sa PIDEA Forensic Lab within 24 hours para ma-start na yung pag-examine kung illegal drugs nga siya or ma-prove if yung na-confiscate is illegal. Then, after ng examination ng forensic chemist is pupunta tayo sa third step, which is laboratory certification. So, results within 24 hours, partial report if needed, final report after. So, yung forensic chemist, maglalabas siya ng result within 24 hours. So, kapag natapos niya na mag-examine, magbibigay siya ng result after 24 hours. Kapag sobrang dami ng sample, pwede mo na siyang magbigay ng partial report. So, for example, yung ini-examine niyang quantity ng drugs or illegal drugs is napakarami sa kanyang workload. So, puwede siyang magpasa ng partial report and final report kapag katapos na yung testing or after ma-complete yung testing. Then, next step is court inspection and destruction. So, court inspection within 72 hours, destruction within 24 hours after, with witnesses and sample retained. So, yung court, i-inspect niya yung evidence na pinasa ng forensic chemist or yung certification within 72 hours. After nun, i-destroy yung drugs within 24 hours. Pero hindi totally i-destroy or may maliit na sample na mare-retain for evidence. Dapat yung witness is present during destruction. So, moving on sa next step is certification of destruction. So, board issues certification, sample submitted to court, minimal quantity retained. So, yung board na tinutukoy dito is yung Dangerous Drugs Board or yung DDB. So, pagkatapos ma-destroy, mag-i-issue ng certification yung DBB para patunay na na-dispose ng maayos yung drugs. Yung remaining sample, of course, as we said earlier, is mare-retain for evidence purposes. So, next is presence of the accused. Yung accused may observe. So, yung pag-observe niya nito is hindi admission of guilt. And of course, public attorney is yung pag-absent yung accused, pwedeng maging proxy yung PAW or the public attorney's office. So, after the case is finished, prosecutor informs board. Court allows turnover and destroy within 24 hours. So, pagkatapos yung case or pag natapos na yung case, i-inform ng prosecutor yung board. Tapos, ipapahintulot ng court na i-turn over yung remaining samples para ma-destroy within 24 hours. So, our last step is transitory provision. Existing drugs destroyed within 24 hours and DOH handles before PDEA. So, para naman sa mga drugs na na-seize dati, kailangan din silang i-destroy within 24 hours with court permission, of course. Bago pala ma-establish yung PDEA, yung DOH yung nag-handle ng process na ito dati. So, tapos na tayo sa chain of custody. Let's move on sa acts punishable under RA 9165. So, there are 4 stated: illegal possession, illegal sale or trafficking, drug use, possession of paraphernalia. So, let's move sa illegal possession. So, this meaning is only a short or summarized term. Under Section 11, Article 2, nakalagay dito is illegal possession. Ito yung having drugs without authority and penalty depends on the quantity. So, yung Section 11, tumutukoy siya sa illegal possession of dangerous drugs, of course. Ibig sabihin, kahit ikaw ay nahuli may hawak, tago, or control ng illegal drugs without authority or prescription, violation na agad yon sa batas. So, yung penalty dito is hindi siya fixed dahil nakadepend sa klase or dami ng droga na nakuha sa'yo or quantity and quality, yun. Kaya mas marami or mas dangerous yung substance na present sa'yo is mas mabigat yung penalty. So, next is Section 5, Article 2, illegal sale and trafficking. So, selling or distributing drugs includes delivery and transport. Severe penalty, life imprisonment. So, Section 5 naman is tungkol sa illegal sale and trafficking of dangerous drugs. Kung saan sakop nito yung pagbebenta, distribute, delivering, transport ng illegal drugs. Dito, tinuturing na mas serious offense dahil direct involvement yon sa drug trade. Kaya yung penalty is mas severe. Kadalasan is life imprisonment or malaking multa. Then, Section 15, Article 2, drug use. So, illegal to use dangerous drugs, of course, subject to arrest, testing, and rehab. Punishable by imprisonment. So, Section 15 simply says, kung saan yung isang tao is nahuling gumagamit ng dangerous drugs, pwede siyang ma-arrest or sumailalim sa mandatory drug testing kapag napatunayan hindi lang parusa yung focus niya kundi pati rehabilitation, kung saan sila yung maaaring i-refer sa treatment program para ma-recover at maiwasan yung relapse. Moving on sa Section 14, Article 2, possession of paraphernalia. So yung nakalagay na terms dito is nagkamali. Mali yung PPT. So i-explain ko na lang yung Section 14. So yung Section 14 is tumatalakay siya sa possession of drug paraphernalia. Kung saan yung mga paggamit na ginagamit for drugs is confiscated at maayos na dinodocument. Kinukunan ito ng sample para maging evidence sa court, habang yung natitira ay sinisecure ng authority para masunod yung chain of custody, as we said earlier, and para maiwasan yung tampering. So sa kabuuan or in conclusion, yung apat na sections na tackle natin is naka-ugnay sa pagpapatupad ng RA 9165 na yung main objectives niya is labanan yung illegal drugs sa pamamagitan ng strict enforcement, proper evidence handling at rehabilitation para sa mga users. So that's all. Thank you for listening.